November 11, man. November 11, 2024. We have exactly 50 days to the end of the year, man. 50
Isn't
days.
that crazy?
Yeah.
And it's going to go by quick. I mean, it's already November 11th. We have 2 more Mondays left in November. So I think that's crazy. But with Bitcoin moving quick, with the political hype cycle moving quick, I don't see it slowing down at all.
Well, you said Bitcoin's moving quick. What's Bitcoin doing, man?
Bitcoin hit over 84K. Like, that's like...
Dude, Bitcoin, hey, bro, you're behind the news. Bitcoin pierced 85,000 a little while ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you want to actually pull up the Bitcoin chart? Do you have it up?
Sure. Yeah. Nah, this is, if you don't understand what's going on here, like I put a thing out just earlier. I'm like, look, if you don't understand this, you really, 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 or just at this point, you're being silly. You don't understand something. Fundamentally, this is something's going on that's worth understanding. I think you can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So here we are. Let me do something more slightly different. We closed on the 4th, 1 week ago before the Trump election, the U.S. election. That was 67,000, dude. People getting scared, didn't know what the election was going to do. And we had if I'm doing this correctly, we had a start at 69,300 right after that election. This is on Wednesday at 75,000. So it went from 69 to 75, shot up 6,000 right here. On Tuesday, this candle started moving at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. And in fact, you can see this okay, correct?
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm going to go back to November the 6th. That's Wednesday. Let me just get this really big so you can see what happened. I actually think now Bitcoin is really doing us a lot of favors. It's actually indicating this was at 0 hours on Wednesday. This right here is at 7 p.m. Okay, you see that? 7 p.m. on Tuesday. No one knew anything about the election. Okay, at 8 o'clock, it goes up a little bit. It goes, and this is a 1 hour candle. It goes from 60 at the very bottom, 68.3 to the very top of 69. So it moved about $1,000. But notice what it's doing between 7. This is 7 p.m. This is 8 p.m. This is 9 p.m. This is literally moving from 9 p.m. to midnight. You see what happened, dude? The election was over for Bitcoin. Bitcoin predicted Trump right here. That's 11 p.m., dude. This thing's now beginning. It's moved from 68.8, and by midnight, it moved to 71, and it's never looked back. It's really impressive. This is literally 1 week, and I think the whole world has been caught off guard here. I mean, really, caught off guard.
Can you talk to me
God,
about?
I can't even see. The problem is I'm having a hard time now getting. I mean, this is literally 1 week's move, dude. This is staggering.
Can you talk to me about narrative? Because, with some of the chart people we talk to, right, it'll always be like, well, Bitcoin was due for this pump. I mean, is that true? Or is this just a clear indication that, like, what my mind gathers is, wow, has Bitcoin been underpriced because it was scared of a bad regulatory environment? Like, do markets work like that? Where, okay, Trump's in, Bitcoin's like, okay, room to breathe, and there was actually like some price suppression? Or is that it just happens to line up?
Well, I mean, look, I think real money doesn't need to take regulatory risk. It doesn't need to take voter risk. It would rather, when I was in Miami last week with you, I showed there was this person, a trader, who was bringing me somewhere, and they were talking about trading uranium for this nuclear move. I'm like, look, why would I go and get all nuclear? I have these other things over here. I said, have you ever looked at these Bitcoin mining stocks? I showed her 5 charts, and she didn't know the names of any of them. She's a trader, right? She's like, oh, I'd buy that. I'd buy that. I'd buy that. I'd buy that, because she's looking at every one of these things have hit extreme all-time highs or nearing them. And she's like, my God, these charts are beautiful, man. Well, these are Bitcoin mining charts. If you're going to go into uranium, I'm like, why would you bother to do gold and uranium when you have this right here and the arbitrage is right? You don't have to wait for a mining facility on a nuclear plant to get regulatory approval over 4 years. I mean, that's forever.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, dude. When a trader of analog products, energy, looks at these charts and goes, what the fuck are these things? These are real companies now, right? So, I mean, bring up another chart just to show you the extreme movements that we're seeing on some of these. I think it's right. Here, I'm going to just go grab CleanSpark. CleanSpark had a financial glitch in one of their filings, and they halted Thursday night or Friday morning. They've been halted all weekend, all part of last week. And, this morning it unhalts. It goes from 1370. This stock was trading at 860 a week ago, bro.
When did you add your $80%?
Yeah,
I added your 80%.
I bought 50 units a month ago at 1042, and I added 30 units a week ago at 1070.
Wow. Damn.
It's I mean, this is a very, very impressive run. Anyone that's sitting on the sidelines here, not fully understanding what's going on, you should really just, if you could, I hate telling people what they should do, but I would take a couple of days, grab a couple of books that myself or people that I'm close to will recommend to you. There's something fundamentally you don't understand. And it's cool if you choose to walk away from this, but I am seeing truly, I keep saying this is a once in a century event. It's the only way I can put it, man. And if you don't get that, people should be asking themselves, hey, why does an idiot guy like this keep saying this is a once in a century event? Why wouldn't you want to at least look at this if it's even half possibly that's true? I just don't think this is a move that anybody wants to. This will be the biggest move in Bitcoin's history.
What are some of those books? I know you've named some in the past, but you want to name them off? Maybe give me 3.
Well, the first thing you do is you open up Google and you ask for a video presentation of the white paper, the Satoshi white paper on Bitcoin. You go read The Cost of Tomorrow by Jeff Booth. It can get to you tomorrow morning, okay? Overnight it from Amazon. Jeff Booth, The Cost of Tomorrow. I read that first, okay? And then I go read the Bitcoin Standard. And then you ought to, once you read all of that takes you 2.5 days, okay? Then you come into a space with a bunch of really smart people. If you guys do that, I will hold a space for you, and I'll ensure the smartest people in the room, and you can ask any question that you want to challenge what you've learned and what doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you walk away from it. Or better yet, if you're so smart and it doesn't make sense, short it, man. If this is a once in a century event, I'm either right or wrong. If I'm wrong, this is going to be the greatest short opportunity in the history of mankind. See what I'm saying? Either way of this, if I'm wrong about which direction it's going, it's still a once in a century event, dude. This is really exciting. Okay. I mean, like everyone is going to wake up now. There is not going to be anyone on the sidelines, not a human being, including Warren Buffett. Like now, Warren's going to start eating crow, dude. Right? He is going to have to start eating it. It just shows you that like there's a time for everybody to go out to pasture and move on. This world has moved on radically with energy, politics, and with solutions for the future. We are in a different paradigm. I'm quite certain of that. And it's kind of amazing. I was talking on this weekend with some people. I find it quite interesting now. This whole Trump thing starting to make me think about God more and more and more and more. I think it was actually now destiny that he didn't serve the last 4 years. I think actually it was better that they stole the fucking election from us. Okay. I told you these psychopaths never know when to stop. Them stealing the campaigns actually been good for us, man. One, Bitcoin is ready. Bitcoin is really ready. So are the markets. And we just showed how poorly they know how to run or not run a country. I mean, they left it in tatters, right? Like this should be so easy to fix. I mean, I'm now getting phone calls, dude. These people are making decisions about who's going to help run this nation. You and I were having a conversation this morning that I completely support you in. And we should talk about that at some point because I think that will also excite other people to do what you're going to do, and other people should do this, man.
I was talking. I think I might have even talked to you a little bit about it. But yeah, I mean, just imagine if Trump had won in 2020, we wouldn't have Elon Musk on his team, we wouldn't have a Vivek, we wouldn't have had a Vance, and you almost needed 4 years of like, what the fuck? To be like, oh, this is the difference. So this is the alternative. So now there's a clean slate. There's no shoulda, woulda. It's, hey, here's one agenda, here's the other agenda. And now you just have a dream team. And to me, it's very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you came in this morning. I'm just going to go ahead and tell everybody our conversation because Sam came in this morning. He said, hey, I really think I should like spend my time in politics and like really go for it. And I was like, for sure, dude. Like not even a hesitation. Like for me, I've never been someone to trap people that work for me. I mean, it creates a little bit of an issue for me, but it's like, I actually believe people should follow their dreams, not get put in a box. It totally, like, I acknowledge everything you're saying. To me, what I know about you, it makes sense for you. You're not going to have the passion that I have about business. It's just not you're going to be, and you'll be more valuable to the world in this role, in a political role. Like I'll do anything I can. Vivek, if you're watching this, or and this is a good guy, okay? Like he could most certainly help you. And he's 27. He'll be in this game for a good 10 years. I mean, we ought to just max him out at 10 years and go, look, we don't want you to become corruptible after 10 years. Probably that's too much. But most certainly, man, if we could have 127-year-old guys like you, clean, smart, articulate, you don't do drugs, you don't have a big PR problem or exposure. Wow, man. 1,000 people, dude, should go to work. I mean, this guy's making good money, okay? In a week, he's probably not going to be working here. Y'all support this cat, and he's probably going to take a pay hit, but I'll probably support him in some way because, look, this is the right thing, man. This is the right thing that we have young leaders with an understanding of economy, business. He's been around. Like just him hanging around me and my buddies for even 9 months, it changes your world, man. You see people like, whoa, these people fucking work hard, dude. No wonder that he's got to take a nap at 2:00 in the afternoon. And it's all kinds of different things. It's never something that like, oh, this is easy, requires no energy. You're always on. You know, it's like being engaged in a fight in a fighting ring, and you just never know when the guy's going to try and clock you. So you're always like, okay, what am I doing? So it's like, I'm really excited for you, man. I'm actually excited for you, and I'm excited for America. Because people like you are going to set examples for other people. I mean, this cat's making $100,000. Okay. This is absolute. If somebody said, look, I can only pay you $40,000, it's still the right decision for him. He suffers a little bit, puts his hard time in, and then like you'll extract the value later. Just like every other investment, you know, a job is an investment. You're lucky somebody pays you guys. Okay, people go, hey, when can I get my next raise? When can you go mine something that makes something valuable for the company? Dude? Like, can you do something? And by the way, you have a job. So anyway, I'm happy for you. I'm getting phone calls, dude, this weekend from the administration going, hey, what do you want to do, dude? People, they're setting things up now. They want business people. And I think they're getting feedback from the rest of the world going, whoa, these are real people, dude, that you're putting in your administration. How could you not vote behind a team of people that between them, they've built 400 or 500 companies, man, or more?
Yeah.
Okay. You get a David Sachs involved. Okay. Like him or don't like him. That cat's seen a lot of action, man. He has seen a lot of action. It's exciting, dude. I think we're going to see a run here that we've never seen before. It's going to defy all the legacy players, and it should defy the legacy players because we're reaching points now that these numbers are very, very different numbers for people to grab hold of. And not just Bitcoin. I mean, in robotics, in AI, NVIDIA, and some of the mining stocks, the high compute stocks. It's a very, very exciting time to be alive. What are you thinking, Sam? What do you want to tell the audience, man? Since
well, you know what's funny? No, you know what's funny is I went back because I was mulling this over the weekend, and I actually watched some previous videos that we had done where we were talking about your journey, and it actually helped me like come to that decision. So you helped me whether you like it or not, right? Type deal. Because I was listening to what has really created a lot of value for me is when you would talk about stories about how when you knew when to move or when you were ready for something and you could just kind of feel it, right? And I kind of had some of those moments after the election when everything was kind of falling together, and I just kind of felt, and like even when you had your Sunday spaces on like IM and kind of putting things out in the universe, I was like, I feel, call it a presence, call it God, something just pushing me that way. And I was like, I don't care what it is. Like, I feel like I have to help this administration no matter what. And that gets me like very excited just thinking about that. So I thought that was cool because I'm like, okay, I could talk to Gary about this, but I also don't have to because there's already videos of Gary talking about it. So I just went back and listened to some of those. But I'm very excited. I mean, every day there seems to be just another announcement about some power player he's bringing in. Like the amount of unity I'm seeing. I mean, we're even seeing like, I don't know if you've been tracking some of the stuff with Senate leadership and how they're essentially now going to be forcing the Senate to put in someone who's favorable to Trump to lead the Senate. So it's incredibly exciting in a lot of ways what's going on. And I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited. You know, I have a lot of friends now who are just like, hey, I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to go all out. Because if you guys think about it, I really do believe this is a once in a lifetime experience, a once in a lifetime moment. You know, imagine serving in Trump's first term, but then to be in his second term with the team that he has. I mean, I'm not smart enough to make rockets and work with Elon Musk at SpaceX, but I might be smart enough to work with Elon Musk in government. I think that's pretty damn cool, right? And who knows? But yeah, it gets me really pumped up in a lot of ways. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's good, man. You deserve it, buddy, and you should follow your like. I knew that I knew this was coming. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was like, hey, I think this deal with Sam's coming to an end. In fact, I even mentioned it a couple. I said a few things. Hey, one day, Sam's going to go do his own deal, and look, it always works out just perfectly. If you follow your instincts, it's when you don't, and it's when you don't listen to yourself. There is a perfect time to do everything. And I see people miss opportunities like this. And they don't ever come back around, dude. And like it is these opportunities, grasping that at the right time, that you won't. I just see so few people actually do it. And it just really doesn't. Well, I think the world really gives credit to those that are bold. Continues. If you just look at the world, it does not give any value to the meek and the boring and the quiet. It doesn't, man. It literally supports people that are big mouths and they're aggressive and they're out there and they're taking risk. And nobody even remembers any of the failures, if you even had any failures, because most of the failures are actually learning lessons that make you better, unless you're constantly just saying, well, the guy that's pointing fingers at people that we saw a lot of this administration, like being a victim gets you absolutely nowhere. Being an animal and being excited and taking risks, it most certainly, you can't find anywhere in history that the bold didn't get all the attention. They get all the attention, they get all the girls, they get all the cash.
Yeah.
Just the way it works, man. So I'm happy for you. And anything I can do to help, I think there's so many things you could do in that administration. You're going to have fun too, dude. I'm going to know somebody that's going to know everybody.
That's the goal. What, you want to talk about
before you go on that, people are starting to, I'm not being teased anymore about my 12.8 Bitcoin to Trump. Nobody's calling me up now saying, hey, that was stupid. Why would you give that much money away to Trump? It's looking like a good investment. I will remind people, I did that through the Bitcoin community. I did not do it through me directly. I could have had dinner with Donald. I did it through the Bitcoin community because this is where my action is. And this is my group. It's not the Gary group. I did it literally through Bitcoin so we could get some attention. We most certainly have a seat at the table, dude. Okay. I mean, you got Samson Mao out there who I'm getting ready to do a conversation with. I love Sam. I think he's done an unbelievable job. Dennis Porter has been just banging the door. You've got David Bailey out there, very deep in the weeds, helping people. And we are going to have sovereigns coming into Bitcoin in 2025. I think they're already here. And we're going to have to wait to 2025 to let them tell us they're here. But I personally don't even know what you're waiting for because you can't turn that announcement around. If they don't announce it, it's actually more bullish. So we are so far ahead of schedule, bro. We are years ahead of schedule. This thing with Trump, every Bitcoiner will become a Trumpster. I don't care how much you hate the guy, including Anthony. You will become a Trumpster, dude, because this is accelerating things so rapidly now. And again, awesome that they stole the election last year. This is so awesome because it's a little bit like there is nothing on top of Bitcoin. There is nothing on top of the suppression of the United States that can't be lifted now. Literally, we know who the bad actors are. We will remove them. I mean, I'm hearing shit like could be a little interesting for 6 weeks, maybe 12, 14, 16. Dude, I think if I can find somebody that's committed treason, I slam them in fucking prison. I'm relentless about it. And I teach everybody a lesson. Never again.
Yep.
We ain't doing this again in this country. Slam them, every one of them in prison. Okay. If they've like done shit with nation states, if they've taken deals, fucking ream them, dude. It's treason. Okay. If I commit treason, I should serve time in federal penitentiary. And you should make me an example and say, hey, don't fuck with us. They're like, anyway, like there's who's going to fight us? Nobody's going to fight us now. We're going to make change, man. This is the only time in history that I would ever consider working for a corporation this large. I hate corporations this large, dude. My rule is 300, I'm out. This would be worth every headache I could ever experience to like, and I am the right guy to go in there, like, because I don't care. Like, I'm not mean. I'm very politically. I don't go out of my way to offend anyone, but I most certainly won't put up with any shit. And that is what we need right now. We just need some people to wipe some of these expenses out that aren't productive. I mean, none of it's productive, and it's cool if you're productive, dude. The people that are going to go in this administration are going to need a bunch of productive government employees. But if you're not one, I think you're done. I think you're absolutely done. And it's so exciting. Look, see, I'm more excited than that Bitcoin. So everybody's talking about price right now, but I'm like, wow, dude, this is this is the kind of thing that gets me extremely excited about Bitcoin, because there's foundation now under it, right? Like there's reasoning for them to do. This is not a political thing. Bitcoin now is an economic thing. It's not political, okay? It might have been political 8 weeks ago. You might have had a president saying shit because he wanted some votes. But like Bailey said the other night, reminded 5,000 people in a room, Trump is the kind of guy, Trump is very much like me, or maybe I'm like him. Bring me wins, bring me excitement, you get all the oxygen in the room. Bring me problems and headaches, I don't want to hear about it. I want to hear about somebody that's bringing shit to me. We brought $25 million to him almost overnight, and he got his attention. He's like, hey, got my attention. He literally said this. 25 million, it got my attention. I expect you guys to do more. And literally like 100 million is his number. But if he could see the economy taking off, Sam, if he can see wealth being accumulated, if he can claim, hey, I took office at 65,000. In fact, if they wouldn't have interrupted me, I took office at 16,000, and now the market's at 84. Look at me. And you can say that's an ego, Trump. Let me tell you, I don't know a CEO on the planet that doesn't want to show his shareholders monster results. Do you know a CEO that wants to show his shareholders marginal results? Dude, this is an awesome result, and the guy can probably get it to 160. Okay, now you're going to be sitting there going, you Bitcoiners, he can't do anything. This is Bitcoin. Dude, he can open up the doors to let these cars fly. Okay, he can stop all the regulatory pressure that we've been suffering. He removes Gensler. He isn't even going to have to move Gensler. Gensler's going to run away like a little bitch. So is Lena Khan. Bye. Okay, you're going to get GDP improvement just from having those snakes out of the zoo, dude. I mean, all they're doing is suppressing business.
Yeah, and I was thinking of what you were saying maybe 2 weeks ago when you were talking about you could deal with higher taxes if the regulations were just clear. And now we're going to get both, right? We're going to have a total sweep of this garbage regulatory environment, and we're going to have someone who's friendly to taxes. So you're going to literally get both.
Yep. I agree. And this thing about you're not going to pay capital gains on Bitcoin, that's ridiculous, okay? You most certainly are going to pay capital gains on Bitcoin. Come on. We would do big just to have, hey, look, for $1,000 a week on retail, you don't pay taxes. For me, I don't need Bitcoin to be used as money. But if people are excited about that, good, buy some potato chips. I personally think it's a bad rule. It's a bad rule because you're not making it for other commodities. And two, it's facilitating the ease to use Bitcoin. You guys are stupid, okay? To use Bitcoin for potato chips is stupid. I don't care if you do get a tax break. It's dumb and dumber. Call me up if you want some potato chips. I'll send you a Zelle, dude. You give me your Bitcoin, I'll give you some dollars. I mean, it's just dumb. Now, if you get a discount on the potato chips, awesome. But you don't use the best money on the planet and then pay and get the exact same price as the guy that's using crap. Right? That makes no sense. I don't care how much you think you're doing. The ETFs, the funds are going to grease the skids of retail. That is the way this works. I told you this was the way it was going to work 3 years ago. And it's mapping out exactly like this. And then retail will buy this. And Satoshis will be worth 0.5 cents a unit to a penny. And that is when retail adoption occurs because most people can't do math. And they want to be able to go, hey, this is worth a penny. Cool, that's $1 million Bitcoin. Let's go. Right?
So where do you think the market goes from here? I mean, talk about MicroStrategy. I know we kind of already talked about some of the miners, but I mean, are you about to double down on some of your positions now? I'm already seeing people say it's too late. I've already missed the boat, by the way. I was like, are you guys crazy? There's no way you've missed the boat by now. Like, now's the perfect time to get in. I was going to make a tweet the other day, just essentially a public tweet, but really just a shot at you. I was going to say, hey, I increased my cost basis. I was like, why wouldn't I? Why would I not be increasing my cost basis right now?
Well, if you're saying that the market's done, let's say Bob's saying the market's done, then you're basically saying the $2 billion that Michael Saylor picked up this past month at 72 and change. What, he's an idiot? Dude, his entry price on $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, 200 Bitcoin, or 2,000 Bitcoin, is roughly 70,000 and change. And you're saying, hey, it's over, Mr. Bobby. I wonder how long you've been saying it's over, bro. Okay? Because the truth is, one, I think this is running. This is not over. This run goes to $2.5 to $3 trillion in the next 12 months. It will be it'll be a $2.5 to $3 trillion marketplace. That puts it roughly between 120 and 150. See, to me, that makes sense. You have a $13-14 billion gold market. Nvidia is priced at $3.5 trillion. If we get Bitcoin's currently at 1.6 trillion, fully undiluted, call it 1.7 diluted, for it to go up another 50% and get to a $2.5 trillion enterprise value, I think that is absolutely doable. That's 115,000. I see if I think in market cap terms, it's easier for me because the unit price, what does it really mean? It just means there's units out there and 85 grand sounds. I could have bought Berkshire Hathaway for $70,000 30 years ago. And people said, oh, wow, that's ridiculous, man. It's overpriced. Well, somebody go check what it is right now. It's probably 750, 800. So the unit price actually is awesome because one, it has people that are stupid that use unit bias. And I do say you're stupid. You're ignorant. Okay, that's what stupid means. It means you're ignorant. You don't know something. I'm going to use the word stupid so I get your attention. Because if I use the word you're ignorant, you're going to be like, oh, shame on me or poor me. You're fucking stupid, man. Like being ignorant is your fault. I mean, I've just like made 40, 50, 60% of my money in a position that I've been in for 3 years. It took me 3 years to get this position on. And you're telling me we've maxed out? Like, I didn't put this position on for 3 months. I've been putting it on for 3 years. What do you think? I'm going to tear it apart after I get a return of 50, 60, 100%? Oh, dude, I'm going to stay around for 3 or 4 years. Like, I don't understand what you guys are thinking. This thing is getting ready to fly. You don't understand how big money thinks. Like, big money is more comfortable with a $5 trillion market cap. It doesn't want small market caps, guys. It doesn't want to be the first guy. You know why? Because you can't get out, man. These people are going to deploy $200 million, $100 million, $300 million in a whack. Like, I had lunch Friday with somebody. His first purchase was 10,000 units. 10,000 after studying it for 18 months. First, dude, it was his personal transaction too. Wasn't corporate.
Wow.
10 grand. Hey, I broke the cherry. This is a true story. Okay. Broke the cherry. Oh, really? What'd you do? Bought 10,000. Oh, dude, that's really good. You bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. No. I bought 10,000 Bitcoin. Bang. Wow. That was at 17 or 20,000. And he hadn't stopped it. See, that's the beautiful thing. People are not stopping here. You're confusing 85,000, a number. This number is just a number. You've never seen finite, dude. We're getting ready to see what finite is worth to big corporate. We are. You know, 4 weeks ago, I told you, I said, man, I'm really nervous. I was really nervous, dude. I have a lot of money in this deal, and I have a lot of money stuck in another deal that's problematic and for me, and it's trapped just a huge amount of money and energy. But 4 weeks ago, my premise was there's only one thing that can make this trade go bad. It's nuclear war. And like, literally, I'm like, wow, cannot believe I'm going to get fucked on this trade, dude. This is the most perfect trade. I've spent about 7-8 years of my life studying this, 4 really deeply investing. And then now we're going to have Israel nuke somebody, or the CIA is going to do something stupid, and it'll be us, right? We'll do it. We'll start that shit. And that's gone, dude. That went away last Tuesday night. And by the way, every minute that flies by since Tuesday, the odds of nuclear damage and war are going down precipitously. I mean, it's like you're literally having people that we were told gangsters, criminal organization, terrorists going, hey, I'm cool, dude. I'm backing up now. Okay. I don't want anybody spanking me. Let's all have picnic together and figure out who's got what.
Isn't that
now, if we can keep the CIA and NATO out of this bullshit, you see these freaks, right? They're saying, no, you cannot let Ukraine have their land. It is not our land, guys. We have nothing to do with the land. Leave these people alone. We do not have a right to stick fucking nuclear weapons all over the place. It's uncool. Okay, we have nothing to do with Ukraine and Russia. This is they've been around longer than America has. Stop sticking our nose in this shit. Okay, I don't meet a bunch of Ukrainians that hate Russia. I know a lot of Ukrainians, dude. I don't meet them. I know Russians. Nobody hates each other. We're the only ones saying that people hate each other. So I'm excited, bro. No war. We get rid of, I mean, I had a phone call this morning. Trump just might pull the fucking federal budget for education, dude. Can he do that?
Yeah, it's a federal agency.
Can he yank it?
It's a federal agency. I mean, he'll get sued for it, but yeah, he can just say, hey, I'm either diverting the funds.
What do you mean he gets sued? You sue the U.S. government?
So what would happen is, and this is part of the process of the deep state, is he could, just like with the Pentagon, like he's the executive, he controls all any federal agency, he is the CEO. He's the executive. They're supposed to listen to him. So he could just theoretically say, hey, Department of Education, you guys are no longer employed. You're not meeting anymore. You're not allowed back in the building. Maybe there's funding allocated towards you, but that doesn't mean you get the funding, right? And then say, hey, you know what? We're going to move this funding around. Like Congress is supposed to hold the purse, but he is still in charge of how the executive agencies run, right? So he has a lot of authority. In worst case scenario, he appoints one of his people to the Department of Education who then really has all the control. And they can say, hey, my first act of being CEO of this company is none of you guys are getting a paycheck and you're all fired.
How many, do you know how many people are employed with federal education?
It's way too many.
Yeah. More than there's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $80 billion, right? How many? What the federal government's doing in schools?
4,400 employees just at the Department of Education.
Wow. 4,000. You know what their budget is? Oh, there's 4,400 people.
It's 68 billion. Yeah, 4,400 people. It says it's 68 billion, but that does not count people who are retired and still getting paid by the pension funds, the other benefits.
Well,
see, actually, this says as of 2024, their annual budget is 238 billion.
God. Wow.
238 with 200. Yeah, what could you do with that amount of money? What could Gary Cardone do with $238 billion?
Well, let me just read something to you first. The 68 billion figure is the overall budget for the U.S. Department of Education, not specifically for the 4,400 employees. Wow. So that's not even included. The operational budget, which would include salaries, benefits, and other administrative costs for these employees, is a smaller portion of the total budget. Users on X have suggested that the operational budget may be in the range of $600 to $800 million a year. Total department budget is $68 billion for for 2023, the government requested $88.3 billion, an increase of $15 billion or 25%, a 25% increase of spend. What would I do with $88 billion, bro? First off, I think he's going to probably allocate it to the states, and I don't think the states need it either. I wouldn't do that. The states have worse metrics than the feds, in my opinion. I just think the whole school system's so broken. But what would I do with it? I'd give it back to the country, man. I don't think you need this money. I actually think that, man, I would love to go do that job. I mean, imagine if you could just get rid of all the old school system of the past 100 years and in 4 years have a complete education system redone. To me, that's the way you have to look at this and go, I'm going to redo all the education for America, period. Start from scratch and build it again. You have too much money not to do it properly. I look at my children had 3 teachers. My senior 17-year-old, 3 of her 8 teachers didn't show up last week after Tuesday for mental health reasons.
Are you
Took
serious?
mental health days off because they were so traumatized that Trump had won. That needs to stop. Like, my kids don't need teachers who are so emotionally erratic that they can't even show up to school because a presidential election occurred. Okay, furthermore, my children do not need to know if you're gay, lesbian, married, or unmarried, happy, not happy, emotionally, what drugs you do or do not take, what you believe in or what you don't believe in. You're there to teach my children. Nothing more than that. They shouldn't know anything about you personally. I never knew, dude. If I asked my teacher, "Are you married?" I would have gotten sent to the principal. It's literally you're breaking a boundary between a leader and a follower, a student and a teacher. It's bizarre. So anyway, we just have a look. The whole school system went woke, dude, over the last 15, 20 years. Oh, since Obama, bro, it just got all snowflakey. We have a bunch of snowflake children. That's the fact.
I can't believe that. I can't believe 3 teachers. What kind of job is that? What a nice job that you can take 3 mental health days.
Bro, this was also right. You know, this was what we're 10 days after Helena and the other storm. Okay, so like I could understand people have flooded homes; they got to take off a day. Well, they already took those days off. Also, they already got rid of school for a week. So now we have an election. Oh, I'm emotional. Fucking get in line, bitch. Okay, like you probably didn't even vote. I mean, it's just so frustrating. But the world's coming around, dude. Like I'm seeing people get on the Bitcoin train that poo-pooed it 6 months ago. And now they're all over it. They're giving me credit for getting them in it. And I think one thing that does happen is you start buying Bitcoin, you start thinking about the world slightly differently. And it makes a better environment. So
it changes how you want to spend money, because I'm like, okay, do I want to buy a new TV? Well, the TV costs me $500 today, $500 in Bitcoin a year from now. Even if that's $650, but it might be more, then you're like, okay, so everything I spend on a luxury, I could be putting in an asset that's far superior.
You just made me think of something. I sold 1801. What was the address down there? You know, that other house?
Oh yeah, the house.
Bro,
yeah.
We need to go through the economics, because you remember I took a 10%. I dropped the house for about $200,000. Okay. Right. And then I bought the Bitcoin at 66 and it went down to 58. So everybody's like, wow, he's an idiot, dude. He took a $250,000 write down on the house. He broke even. He then converted it into Bitcoin at 66 and it's at 57. Well, how you feeling about it now, dude? Because this trade right now, 4 months later, just made my house explode, dude. Okay, that 2.5 million now is worth 3.5, maybe 3.25. No plumbing problems, no fears of flood insurance, no trees falling down. I got no power issues. I didn't black out. I don't have to Wi-Fi it. I don't have to get on the roof and clean it. They're out there every day cleaning something, bro. Every day there's another utility truck there. You come to the house every day and you see, wow, they're busy. They ain't busy making money, dude. They're busy fixing shit and spending money on a house that can only improve in value so much. Okay, and I like having them as neighbors, but this is a bad investment. If you think owning a home is a good investment, if you're a woman and you think saving money in a home is a good investment, I have a video for you, baby. We should do that, actually. We should go right back down that street and redo the whole calculation. Remember when? Dude, I have some really good video content, right? Like, we are going to be able to go back, because I've been, going through the journey of Gary. I never did like reality TV, but I was like, man, this is pretty cool to have somebody do a journey of their investing strategy and what they're thinking. And had I not done this, I probably wouldn't have invested as much, bro. Literally going on these things and having so many conversations and asking people and challenging them and going through it. Why am I hesitating at 37? Well, I bought a lot already. Yeah, but why am I hesitating at 37? It's still just 37. It's still sitting there for me. I can't believe it. There's this beautiful fish sitting out there, and all I got to do is throw the bait out to it. And oh, no, I got too many fish. I don't want to catch any. Oh, I have too much money. I don't want to make any more easy money. So I'm going to back off. I'm already over allocated to the best investment thesis on the planet. How could you possibly be over invested in the best investment thesis on the planet? How is that even possible, Mr. Investment Advisor? I mean, I had a buddy of mine who's at the bank, dude. He's got $2 million in MicroStrategy, and I think it went from like 500 grand to 2 million. His advisor called him up today. By the way, his advisor didn't get him in the deal. His advisor said, "Hey, do you think you should diversify?" First time he's heard from the banker in like 3 years. Do you think you should diversify? And the guy said, "I'm diversified just fine. Thank you very much." Click. Dude, the amount of people, I tell you, this is going to be the other thing. Banks are going to lose a lot of business. I think it's getting ready to start happening. As the lending facilities become more widespread, even at 8, 10%, these traditional banks are going to wake up and go, "Oh shit, we just lost a great customer." Because they have no clue what they're talking about. And when you send a guy to me that's a banker, and he's probably listening, 3 of them are probably listening, right? When you come to me and call me and you don't know what you're talking about, your whole bank loses total credibility, okay? When you ask the same question over and over because you didn't listen, that tells me you don't understand what the fuck we're talking about. And it's really amazing, bro. I mean, anyway, when I first met you, I told you, "Hey, I think the tail is getting ready to wag the dog." Remember me saying that? The tail wagging, that the tail of Bitcoin is going to wag the entire the rest of the dog, the legacy. And it was born from this story. I remember a guy from Ernst & Young told me that they had, 30 or 40,000 clients, and because of the demand of digital processing is very different than legacy. Accounting, tracking, tracing, reporting. Some of the big audit and forensic firms have struggled because all these portfolios are so massively different. You got one guy doing Dogecoin, you got another guy doing Bitcoin, you got some guy doing staking on a Uniswap trade on a derivative. I mean, it's extremely complex. And the discussion we were having was, and even the guys at Deloitte, Deloitte said, "Hey, look, not every one of our customers are into Bitcoin. In fact, very few are. But all of the millions of our customers will be most certainly impacted by Bitcoin." Now, I think these are comments that although the individuals in these companies want to be able to facilitate, support, and help, the company itself is just not ready. And I'm not picking on any one company. It's TikTok, right? I mean, this market now is moving. You have so many players in it, and catching up and servicing that part of the market for the audit piece. My point being, we're going to find very, very wealthy people who have all their legacy assets pretty well lined up. It's easy to manage. It's easy to audit. It's easy to report and do taxes on. If you can't address their smaller crypto digital asset positions, you could, in fact, lose all of that business. And I think all that business is lost forever. It's a migration event. Migration events don't happen in banking, accounting, and law very often. It is very problematic this is why I got really, really excited about buying Node 40, because I was like, wow, people don't move accounting solutions very easily. For me, it was a very, what's the word for it? Sticky. It's a very sticky, once you get the migration to occur. And I can imagine where billionaires, super wealthy families, move all of their solutions from a legacy traditional firm, whether that's legal or accounting or whatever it may be, to more crypto, digital asset centric businesses or banking, because of the understanding, right? This only expands from here. I mean, I think it would be really amazing to be a fly on the wall in all these corporations to see what are the discussions at the board level and the executive management teams. How many people are thinking or having discussions? Hey, what the hell is going on here, dude? This was 17,000. Now it's 50. Oh shit. It was 57. Now it's 85. Hey, what's happening here? If they're not, like, I'd like to know every private and public company that's not having this conversation. I'd love to know on every public, because I'd short the shit out of them. The private companies, like some of my old things, these guys, I'm stunned they're not calling me, going, bro, how do I get some of this? How do I turn my company into this? You know, a lot of people went and added .com to their name in the 90s, and it got them a super hit. This would be doing something very different. This isn't putting .com on your name. This is putting Bitcoin into your balance sheet. You know, I mean, imagine your balance sheet tripling overnight without you having to get any customers.
What does this do to the Gary Cardone Bitcoin model, which, as you know, there isn't one? The Gary Cardone Bitcoin model is, there's a certain number of billionaires out there, right? And they're all going to want in on this. Does that speed up that timeline? Do you think some of those people are like, hey, I'm more comfortable now? Or is that still going to kind of follow a trajectory, you think, over the next 2 years, where they're still slowly getting in and Bitcoin needs to grow a little bit more before they just kind of ape in?
No, this is it right here, buddy. This is happening. You're going to have people edging in, aping in, blending in. They're going to just chase. This cycle is going to be different. I'm certain this cycle is going to be different. I think it shakes out most of the players, because it's going to be, I know everyone's calling for less volatility. I think you're going to have extreme volatility here. I think people are going to be poo-pooing in their pants, man. Because if this thing, look, it's already had a good move. Okay, if it goes up to 120, it'll get crushed down to 100 to 95. Now, most people can't stand a 25% retracement on 120 grand, dude. That's like, whoa, I could have sold all that and made a shitload of money. It's the families too. Remember the husband, the wife, the kids. Like, I got to send 2 kids to college, dude. Most people have to prepare for that, right? I don't really prepare for it, but like, oh wow, I need $500,000, man. I need $500,000 somewhere. Where's it going to come from? Is it going to come from Bitcoin? Hopefully I'll be able to lean into it. These prices are getting to a point now where I won't have to ever sell my Bitcoin. I will literally be able to take $100,000 worth of Bitcoin as it goes up and go buy for $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, go into my mainstream banking and buy buy put on MicroStrategy out 2 years at, say, let's say we're at $150,000. I go buy put for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of the 100,000. Let's say my portfolio went to 150,000 because I own one Bitcoin. So I'm at 150. I have $150,000 in another account in my wallet, in another account over here at Fidelity or Bank of America or wherever. I then go spend $4,000 or $5,000 buying a put. That is, hey, if the price of MicroStrategy or an ETF falls below a certain price, I have an insurance policy, and that insurance policy will pay me premiums if it goes beyond, let's say, 100,000. So I bought a $5,000 premium. That's my premium. I will lose 100% of this if this price doesn't go down. What's going to happen to my Bitcoin? If my price didn't go down on the $5,000, my Bitcoin probably went up, right? Which I didn't sell ever. No tax event. It's still going up. But I have a loss over here of $5,000 against any other gains that I've made anywhere else. 100% loss on the MicroStrategy put. Okay? So I didn't sell my Bitcoin. I made no money on the 5,000. Total waste. But that was all I could ever lose. Now, let's say we're at 150. I can buy the $5,000 insurance policy on the $100,000, and Bitcoin drops $30,000 in a week. The $5,000 option premium, that insurance policy that I paid for, it will go up in price aggressively, right? And my Bitcoin that I'm not selling, by the way, mark to market, the P&L on that Bitcoin went from 150,000 down to let's call it 130. But that $5,000 I use, it will quadruple, dude. It'll be worth 20 or 30 grand. I sell that, take my 20 or 30 grand, and I keep it in that Fidelity account. Now I have a capital gain here. Got to pay some taxes on it, right? But I've insured myself without ever selling or giving away my Bitcoin. Don't even have to address the custody issue. Everyone's complicated this so much. Oh, I'll be able to ledge into an ETF. And dude, you can do all this. There's so many instruments now. So this is my point. The amount of instruments that are getting ready to come into this market, it's the instruments that people use for every other asset class in the world, dude. Like every tool is going to be available. Insurance on the upside, insurance on the downside, insurance on how to store it. It's like, and you have multiple options. You don't have to be a wizard to store Bitcoin anymore. You don't have to have the hard wallet. You don't have to have the technology. You can do this through the ETF. I'm not recommending one way or another. I recommend you get into Bitcoin at 85 grand. Okay. What are we going to do? Have a retracement down to 80? Let's say we have a retracement down to 75. Dude, people are going to be like, how does my brother get in? This will now be grabbing his attention on a very regular basis. He's been watching this and jacking with me since 37. Okay. Like, he thinks I'm just too aggressive, right? He's like, you can hear his comments and, oh yeah, that's my brother. Oh shit, Gary's talking about borrowing. It's amazing to me. I'm like, bro, you borrow $4 for every dollar you put into the real estate market. And then I say, I'm going to borrow on Bitcoin's move right now. And you're like, oh, wow, that's really aggressive. Are you kidding me? Now, I do think borrowing on Bitcoin, if you don't know what you're doing, could be just ridiculous. But if this is going to leave a lot of people behind, and then those people that get left behind, they will not stay out of the game, dude. They will FOMO in. We're not anywhere close to FOMO right now. 120, we go into nosebleed FOMO town, because people then are going to be like, shit, dude, it's going to be hard to catch up now. Okay. Like, somebody just bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin at 70 plus and didn't blink. And it happens to be MicroStrategy. He is not stopping. Okay. And you have sovereigns that are here. The only thing is, we don't know how big these sovereigns are, but we're going to know before the end of the year, dude. This is happening right now. If Saudi Arabia announces they're going to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, every sovereign on planet Earth is going to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Everyone. The whole planet buys Bitcoin at this point. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the only thing left to buy. Everything else is full on. Everyone's maxed out. I keep saying this. They are peaked out on every other asset class, including my brother. I'm sure my brother's looking around going, shit, I'm going to be 67 next year, dude. How many apartment doors do I need? The Bitcoiners come in, hey, man, if you could do 10X and get Bitcoiners in your apartment buildings. I'm like, my brother doesn't need to do that, dude. He needs to buy another 1,000 units or 30,000 units. Let's just go buy 30,000. I don't need people buying Bitcoin in the apartment building. Let's buy as many multi-dwelling, A-class, 6 to 12% yielding properties as we possibly can, at 30 cents on the dollar with the best freaking collateral in the world, Bitcoin. Otherwise, just let Bitcoin do its business. It's going to rip everything off, man. It's literally going to be the greatest performing asset in the history of the world.
Are you still thinking about turning your Bitcoin into the ETF just so you can get leverage?
Well, I'm going through this exercise right now with one of my banks, and some of the lending people are telling me they're not ready, even though the market's telling me that those guys are out there, they're ready. But I just spoke to one of them, and they're like, "Hey, we're not going to be ready till January." And I need to get a hold of Howard. Actually, I'd like to get Howard's email as soon as possible. But I'm going through the exercise just to see how retarded the legacy banks are. And I suspect they'll take 60 days because this is what will happen. In order for me to move from my Bitcoin into the ETF to allow the bank to give me 30, 40, $50 million of leverage or whatever they'll give me. I didn't mean to really discuss those numbers, but I just forgot. Then I'll probably have to take a tax hit, and that ain't happening. So see now the bank's in a box because they got to figure out, wow, I got to get the guy into ETF, but in order to get him into ETF, he's got to liquidate his Bitcoin. And now I'm not going to liquidate my Bitcoin. I'm not going to pay taxes. So literally, because the bank doesn't have the ability to custody, imagine when custody is available, bro. I mean, no one's going to sell Bitcoin. This is bizarre, dude. Like I'm not saying anything new. I have not said one thing new this morning, but man, at this price point, it removes any doubt on what could have happened that would make this theory go wrong. There is nothing that takes this thesis out now. Had literally about time, and I think the time just got super compressed, dude. Like, I think we've come up 3 years. I mean, I really think that we have accelerated everything about 3 years. I'd love to know some experts, guys that are in this for size, and they've been watching this, and they're really interested. The guys at Bloomberg, some of these guys that are really tight. Love to know your thoughts on how much have we accelerated time, moved it in our favor, mostly because of the Trump clarity. See, the clarity, even if it would have been Kamala, if it would have been a 70-30 split, the clarity is so important. I mean, because the truth is, the only people that are shaving their heads and wearing light blue are freaks, dude. Like, I don't know why you would go shave your hair because Trump, I mean, nobody's going to remember you for shaving your hair. You're not even relevant in the market. Nobody cares, dude. You're probably 3 of the 8 teachers that my kids don't like anyway. They don't like them. They didn't even miss them, okay? It's bizarre, dude. My kids like, oh, yeah, they're our least favorite. The least favorite people are creating the most problems. The best teachers they showed up. Funny, huh? 16 and 14-year-old kids know more than the adults.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next generation. I mean, I really am in a lot of ways. I guess the next generation that's raised by the right people, but I mean, yeah, imagine growing up in this and just being able to see through the bullshit now at such a young age. What an opportunity to just be like, oh, okay, that's a life lesson. I grew up in high school and I saw this bullshit that you'll see the rest of your life. What a great lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also that, at least for my kids, my kids. In fact, I understand that you met my ex-wife last week.
The gym.
One of my kids said, oh, I met Sam. Sam met Mom. And I went, ooh, you think Sam and Mom are going to like go on a little ditty date?
No. Oh no.
No, I said it. I said it because I'm jacking with them.
Okay, thank God. Thank
No,
God.
no, dude. And one of them said, I think mom's really busy enough already. I don't think she needs any distractions. Yeah, no, I thought that was funny. No, but these kids are going to be able to tell the difference between bullshit and real shit, man. Right? They are going to be able to tell the difference. What do you say we go through some of these comments? Because we can talk about price and get all jacked up, but at the end of the day, it's about the peeps. Nino, Fibbo, Alden, A1, Josh Bryant, Art Caffeine, Judaba, Rusty Bot. You guys are awesome. Okay. Really appreciate you being here. Same to Knoxville. Crypto Crow, my man. I did not get into Cardano, Crypto Crow, but good to have you here. I understand you guys are moving, busting out. And I understand that maybe your man might be doing some work with the administration. That'll be interesting to see, actually. Who else we got? Kaiser, thanks for being here. Thank you also, man. Let's see. What's this? Dante says Gary changed everything. You must mean Bitcoin's changed everything. Thank you for being here, dude. And let's see who else we got. You see any big comments? Thanks for being
just excited.
Yeah. Well, they should be excited. Who thinks you're long enough? That's what I'd like to know. Who is long enough? Is anybody long enough in there? Huh?
Anybody? Sold a rental a few months back and bought Bitcoin at 55K with my profit. Best decision so far.
Oh, yeah. Any women, any men that think house ownership's a good deal, you guys just call me up, okay? Call me up. Love to do a little debate with you. Rip you into pieces like you weren't even there. Bad investment, man. We got lots of people in the house. What do we got? About 2,900 people. Beach Ton Daisy, thank you for being here. Gensler, singularly responsible for XTF, Celsius, Arrows, and Voyager. He in the FTC. Lena Khan. Don't let Lena Khan get away with this, okay? Her job is to protect consumers. She and her team of assholes were spending money with their own lawyers beating up me for $100,000 for 3.5, 4 years, while FTX just floated in here, stole billions and billions from Joe Consumer. I've never touched a consumer in my life. This guy was ripping money out of Gensler's aunt's back pocket. Not really, but you get my point. The weakest people in the market, he failed to protect. The weakest people in the market, Lena Khan failed to protect, and she was busy clearly playing politics and running scams on good people like myself on behalf of the U.S. government, or the U.S. Biden and Clinton and Obama government. Their little fucking toys they've been playing with for 12 years. This country has been destroyed by these three people: Obama, Clinton, and this last idiot, or whoever's driving this guy, okay? This country was almost destroyed, and these people tried to assassinate an ex-president and now soon to be the 47th president of the United States. Not once, not twice, but probably 3 times. It's bullshit. They should be held responsible. I ain't letting it go, okay? We should never let this happen again, guys. It happened on our watch. All you boomers, it's our fault, dude. We let everyone down by not keeping our attention. We got too focused on making money in our stock market and failed to think about our freedom. And we came fucking this close to losing it. I cannot imagine. I wouldn't even be doing this right now, dude. If Trump would have lost, I don't think this thing would be here, bro. Okay? Most certainly won't be here in January. And, I was starting to look for options, dude. Like, where would I go, man? This is scary now. I have no fear of somebody knocking my front door down because I said something online today. I was worried 2 weeks ago. And I am not trying to incite anyone. I try to bring peace and calm to everyone until that no longer works. That is the right strategy, peace and calm, until it doesn't work. And now we get to open our mouth. No one should shut their mouth, dude. This is why I support you in doing what you're going to do. And you can't do it quick enough because we literally have 12 years now. Okay, you have 12 years to fix this. It ain't going to happen in 4. We can get a lot done in 4 years. See, this is going to be the question. This just might be the era of, hey, let's move. Let's break a lot of shit fast, and then let's move again. And that's why I think we're in this super cycle, which, by the way, is not a financial term. It's not a real term, but a super cycle indicating that people maybe ape in a little more aggressively in trying to grab the golden chalice of the future. Anything that would get you a anchor point into the future that would secure a moat. Bitcoin is going to provide you a moat for the future that I think may have more, it's almost like a trampoline. It gives you more options into wherever this thing may go. It just seems to me the most flexible instrument that I can invest in and own that gives me exposure to the future without any drag. You know what I mean? No weight. There's no gravity to it. Like if I bought a house or I bought a bunch of real estate, I got some gravity. I can't move out of those easily. This seems to me like an awesome instrument to give me maximal exposure to future without the exposure of the gravity and the lack of ability to adapt and pivot, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely it does.
So I can't remember a better time. I've seen natural gas I've seen power at 32 pounds a megawatt, and I could build it for 18. I sold a 500 megawatt power station at 27 one day over a telephone call. That's a monster trade, man. Okay, that's 500 megawatts for 5 years. I mean, that is a monster trade. You know, short natural gas at 22 cents, 22p in the UK, and watch it go to 12. Well, actually went to 8, but you know, those are awesome. These trades do happen. This trade right here, gonna make them all look tiny, dude. All of them are going to look like shit compared, and it's the only one I've ever gone long on. I love shorting markets. This thing, actually, I'm shorting everything else with this trade. That's the beauty of this trade. This trade is long Bitcoin and short everything that's old. And that, I think I get a double whammy for it. I will be excited about this trade in 10 years, dude. This is gonna I feel like I'm literally driving a 300-mile-an-hour car almost every day. It is so exciting. And if it's not exciting to you, you should be going, why is he so excited? If you don't know why I'm so excited, there's something you're missing, man. Like history is being made this second. So I don't, we need to get you in Washington and probably need to get me in Washington more. And let's talk about the inaugural. I think I keep having people ask me if I'm going to go. If I'm going to go, I need to start organizing it because I suspect it's going to be a shit show, right? How many people go to those things?
Hundreds of thousands. Because you have the crowd all in DC, right? It gets pretty packed. But with the people it can be a problem. No, I have not. This will be my first because I'm definitely going to see what I can do to get there. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to go make some money. I wish everyone well. We'll be doing a space tonight. Sam, we've got a few people showing up. Everyone's excited about talking to Bitcoin. That's at 5 p.m. We have another one on Thursdays. We have another one on Friday, this live space. British Hot will be here next Friday. He and I are going to, maybe this Friday. And and he's been traveling a little bit, but we've been trying to get him on. But he's excited, so he'll be on Friday. And let's all be nice to somebody today, huh? Can't brag about it though. Can't brag. Can't tell your wife about it. 3,145 people. If we all do something nice for someone today. Hey, by the way, this could include your kids, okay? I mean, it shouldn't really, but if you got to do a quickie, spend 10 minutes with your kid without looking at your telephone. You know, my children, dude, like I am so happy with my kids because we'll go to dinner and my youngest will say, hey, telephone pal. She's the telephone cop now. She's like, hey, let's stick all our phones in the. I love that, man. Sticking them in a nice little, and then putting the napkin on top of them, and they're buried. Nobody's looking at their phone. We're just sitting there chatting and talking and jacking with each other. You know, just taking that time. Like for me, okay, I can call one of my buddies or do something, but like it's just 10 minutes. You know, it's 10 minutes and the kids love it. Yeah. When you just focus on them or focus on anyone, people really love being acknowledged and admired. That's why I go through this thing. Hey, Rambo, thank you, man. See, that has to feel good to Rambo. Hey, Rambo, see you in the house, bro. Wow, 85,000 BTC. Incredible. Dude, we're going higher than that, okay? You guys need to redo all your education. You're going to get... There are going to be so many people that make mistakes here. Biggest mistakes are incoming. Okay. Really, if I were you guys and you're feeling a little undisciplined, and you know what I'm talking about. When do I sell? When do I don't sell? Ooh, this thing's going to move. This thing is going to move. Okay. If you're feeling undisciplined, reach out to Sam. I will hold a space for you guys. And we talk about, hey, what happens when you're not fully ready? And you start getting all nervous. Do I sell at 110? Do I wait to 2.3, 2.3? Like, let's talk it through. Don't want to make mistakes here, okay? Your friends that you listen to in these spaces, you should stop listening to anyone that doesn't have a shitload more success than you do, guys. Okay? They're just guessing. They might get lucky. You do not know what these people's portfolios are. I hear people coming on here talking so much shit, and you guys think they're heavily invested, and I don't think they are. So I would really, really, really do your research. It costs no one anything to come on here and go, I own $30 million worth of miners. Really? You have no clue if they're telling the truth, dude. There's some freaks out there, okay? And the more they talk, usually the more they're full of shit. Now my job right here on this 1.5 hour show is to talk and entertain you guys about something, but like, anyway, just be careful. Okay. Like I know Sam ain't getting pushed out of his trade. Why? Cause Sam has literally been around about 7 people like me, and everybody's been very consistent. He's like, yeah, I ain't going to fucking argue with these guys. Cause it's intelligent, man. It makes sense. If you're sitting there worrying, oh shit, like when am I going to switch my soul over to Bitcoin? Dude, you're going to get crushed, man. I'm not saying you're not going to make money on soul, but you're going to get crushed. Okay. These are paper profits. They ain't real yet. They are not real. Okay. They are literally numbers on a ledger. And this thing goes up, it can come down. And it's going to flush you out. Prediction, people get flushed out on the way down, not the way up. Watch what happens. It's going to go to 150 and they're going to go, oh, it's going to 300. Then it's going to go to 110. They're going to puke. They're going to dump it at 110 or 98. And then it's going to rip in their face. And they'll never get back on the train. They'll never get back on the train, dude. The next 18 months is going to be a fucking ride you've never seen before. That is so exciting. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of it, right? So thank you, guys. Have a great day. Sam, feel free to close, of course.
See you guys at 5 at Twitter. We'll see you then.